Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and this is your 10-second tip. Are you struggling with your shot? One trick could be to follow the ball with your eyes on the release, because perhaps your mechanics are falling apart as you're releasing and staring at the rim the whole time. LeBron James has played in 8 straight finals for 2 different teams, a feat so extraordinary in the modern game that it will most likely never be accomplished again. Of the 9 total finals he's played in, LeBron has put up some of the most dominant numbers we've ever seen, won 3 of them, and provided us with a few seminal moments we'll never forget. And yet, amidst all that success, there are some myths that have evolved over time about the way he played that deserve some scrutiny. Myth number 1, LeBron didn't shoot threes until his more recent finals. This, my friends, is nonsense. In his very first finals in 2007 against the Spurs, he took 5 deep balls a game, way before the league had embraced the three-point shot. Of course, the Spurs were more than happy to give these shots to him since he barely made any, but the point still stands. He was spacing behind the line for mostly catch-and-shoot jumpers at a pretty high rate. Interestingly, it was in 2012 when his three-point attempts dipped to the lowest of any of his finals. It's understandable that he took so few since he bricked a lot of them, but he was on his way to his first title by silencing the Thunder, playing as an unstoppable 2-point shot maker with no need to get back behind the line. His highest per-game three-point attempts came in 2015 when the Cavs showed up short-handed without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. And that gave LeBron his highest per-game scoring average of all of his finals, but to no avail as the Cavs fell in 6 games. In 2014, he scorched the Nets from 3, nailing almost 52% of them and taking a healthy amount as well. In this series, a key to unlocking his shot was a much better rhythm, hanging less in the air and getting the ball off in almost a one-motion shot, in comparison to his 2007 finals where he would hang in the air before releasing it. It's almost impossible to be consistent from that range when you interrupt the flow and release after you hit the apex of your jump. And while LeBron figured it out in this finals, albeit a gentleman's sweep at the hands of the Spurs, he never recreated that same fluidity nor got above 39% again. Myth number 2, he didn't post up until later in his career. In 2007, LeBron averaged 5 post-ups a game. He's actually had 3 other finals where he posted up less, and what we saw back then was pretty basic footwork. He utilized the drop step mostly, and with a smaller guy like Bruce Bowen on him, he could shoot over him. However, he struggled when the double teams came, either with decision making or making a clean pass to an open teammate. It was 2012 when he hit his apex at post-ups per game, just cold abusing whoever they sent in to guard him. This was the biggest factor for why he took the least amount of threes in his finals career, because they simply had no one who could stop him, either when help rotated to him at the rim, or bullying his way to the hoop until he got close enough to flip it in, or facing up and making standstill jumpers over the long arms of Kevin Durant. And if the double team came, forget about it. He was a master of reading the defense and dissecting it for the best possible shot, whether at the basket or from behind the arc, with a lot of shooters spacing along that three-point line. 2017 was his low mark for post-ups, and it's possible there's a correlation to the final result, as he upped his pick and roll possessions at the cost of putting the defense in tough positions down low. Last year was his 5th lowest amount of post-ups, which is surprising. It seems like this number should only increase with every year that goes by. The pick and roll has always been a staple of LeBron's attack, but his years in Miami saw a dramatic decline. With Dwayne Wade on the team, he found himself attacking off-ball a lot more. In their loss to Dallas in 2011, he averaged 12 pick and rolls per game, and they won 2 titles with him, cutting that to around 9. These types of pick and rolls weren't about forcing a switch and attacking a mismatch. No, this was about speed and power and just collapsing the defense until it couldn't collapse any further, either ending with a strong finish at the hoop for him or spotting the open man on the perimeter and firing a pass for the open jumper. In 2013, Hall of Famer Ray Allen helped space the floor even more, allowing LeBron to control the chess pieces and then find someone. Interestingly, the most pick and rolls he got was in 2007, but the Spurs were able to bottle this action up time and again by ignoring everyone else and collapsing into the paint. This ragtag bunch of players might be the worst supporting cast around a star to ever play in the finals, and it showed as they got swept. LeBron's second highest pick and roll output was in 2015 with 17.3 per game, intent on controlling the action without Kyrie and Love on the floor due to injury. He struggled mightily to make baskets in the face of fierce defense, and his teammates couldn't help him much either as the efficiency hovered around average. Aside from his first finals, this was his worst shooting performance of any of his appearances, and while his numbers were very impressive, he couldn't carry them across the finish line. Last year was another jump to 16 a game as they went all in on forcing switches and attacking the mismatch. But the Warriors' team defense was just too good, and the Cavs got swept. Not only has LeBron been the leader of his generation and perhaps the greatest of all time on the court, his shoe game has been unparalleled as well. And if you want the secret to getting the hottest new sneakers from Yeezys to every retro Jordan, then you have to check out StockX. StockX is a revolutionary new marketplace for buying or selling 100% authentic sneakers, streetwear, watches, and handbags. Here's the cool part about it. StockX uses the same principles as a stock market to make your purchases by giving you real-time market data for intelligent buying and selling. Best of all, StockX has removed the risk from buying and selling online. Total anonymity between buyer and seller. You'll never have to deal directly with a random buyer or seller again. StockX has experts that verify every item, making sure everything you get is 100% authentic. Visit StockX.com/CoachNick now and you'll see what an incredible platform this is. Now you know. LeBron has been remarkably consistent with transition opportunities, pushing the ball judiciously until suddenly in 2016, that number jumped to 8 per game, then 11.4 in 2017, before falling back to 8.3 last year. It's hard to fathom that his Heat teams didn't run more with him involved on the break, but it made sense that Coach Spoelstra didn't want to wear out his top-heavy team too early by running the ball a ton. And it is also interesting that he'd get on the break a lot more against the Warriors, who want you to go as fast as possible. That said, it was wildly successful the past two finals, so you can't argue that it didn't work, as LeBron ran the fast break to perfection, either finishing with a monster play himself or setting up a teammate for an easy hoop. That brings us to isolations, where he's always had his share as the most dominant on-ball player on his teams. Interestingly, his lowest output per game was in 2011, when he disappeared quite a bit as the Heat were still struggling to figure out who was the man between him and Wade. The Mavericks even got away with putting guys like Jason Terry and JJ Barea on him every so often, and as a result, the Mavs exploited this and their hot three-point shooting to win in 6. Of course, he peaked in 2015 again because of his shorthanded team, and it just didn't work. Either LeBron couldn't get anything going against Iguodala, or the rest of the team got so stagnant nothing was opened up by his ISOs and they couldn't hit shots either. So much ball dominance got him some of his best numbers he's ever had in the finals, and they got the series to 6 games, but just couldn't overcome such inefficient offense. While there certainly have been an evolution to LeBron's game, some has been dictated by matchups and others have been decided by coaching philosophy. His footwork has certainly improved in the post, even if his post touches haven't risen, and his three-point shooting has gotten to a respectable level overall, if a bit inconsistent. There have been moments where he's disappeared, and moments of such utter dominance that only LeBron could have accomplished them with a little help from, Kyrie. It's been a testament to his IQ and skill that he's been able to adjust and add to his game over the course of so many finals. And that many consecutive appearances will never be equal. Do you want skills like this? You'll be a better player simply by wearing this t-shirt. Let everyone know you're in by becoming a friend of The Breakdown.